Welcome, welcome, welcome to day four. I was about to say day two, day four of Best Year, Best You. I've got coat one up of the new studio wall. I was going to ask you all, I was going to be like, guess what color you think it's going to be? But I actually couldn't get this particular camera in a way where you couldn't really see it. So, shocker, it's green. Okay, there we go. All right, so welcome. Thanks for coming back. We are almost there. Hi, Michelle. So good to see you again. I saw you tagging people yesterday, I think. Today is the very last day. We'll get to that soon enough, but today is the very last day to get those entries in. Taylor has decided he always hears me talking and he's like, oh, we're doing the live. I'm ready. So glad to see each and every one of you. And we'll just jump in. We'll let people join us. I'm going to go ahead and get going. I know your time is precious. So let's see. Does that work? Yes. All right. Day four. Just curious, did anything come up for anyone after the work that we did yesterday about guaranteeing your failure, reversing things? Anything come up for anyone? I did not have anything come up, mostly because and we all experience this, right? It was such a busy day yesterday, and then I painted. It was one of those like 12-hour days. I've just got a lot to get done. I'm going to be in New Orleans next week with my mastermind. So I didn't have a lot of additional thoughts about goals yesterday. But after hey, Rachel. Yes, you'll be there. After, right? Like you just, I'll get there. I'll get there. Look, I'm already about to get on my soapbox. Let's get to prizes. Okay. Okay. Let me get to my other page. I at least got rid of the other pages from yesterday so that I didn't constantly keep struggling. Well, I may continue to struggle, but it won't be the way I was yesterday. All right. So today is the last day to get your entries in for the grand prize. As a reminder, the grand prize is quarterly one-on-one sessions with me. You have to get your entries in by 11:59 Pacific this evening. We are drawing the winner tomorrow on the live stream, but all of the entries have to get in tonight. So if you've not tagged 5 people on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, all you have to do is go find my old posts related to Best Year, Best You, and you can tag people, invite them to join us. And I know that may be weird because it's like, well, tomorrow's the last day, but the portal is going to be live through next Friday. So even if someone registers and signs up like tomorrow or Monday, they're still going to get access to the replays and the worksheets and the portal and that 50% discount if they end up wanting to use it. So if you know friends and colleagues who could benefit, go ahead and get them tagged. And then if you missed Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and you've not commented on those challenges, go back, get it in on the replay, because if you get the 3 in today, as well as Monday through Wednesday, and you tagged 5 people, you get the bonus 3 entries. So everyone is eligible for 20. Obviously, you don't need 20 to win. It just increases your odds. So today's the day. Get all of your entries in. All right. So today is all about boring Barbie, and tomorrow is about gift horse. And we need these. We need these because, Trump is doing the most right now. And it's one of the reasons why so I had said that our tagline for Best Year, Best You this year was if being delusional is wrong, I don't want to be right. We're not being delusional in the sense that we are like burying our heads in the sand, but we are being delusional in the sense that we want to dream big. We want to believe that things are possible. We don't want to constantly feel like we are being reactive or that we are spending all of our time and energy just reacting and responding to, I'm not even going to say his administration, his regime. With the ICE murder yesterday and just the ongoing, just everything, right? It is George Floyd was 2020, same city, not far apart. And it's like, I mean, we're 5.5 years and we thought we were making some progress and momentum. And it's not only have we not, there's just really been an attack on so many different rights and DEI being rolled back. And it can be really heavy and it can be really hard. And so I don't want to pretend that our delusion relates to ignoring all of that stuff. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I woke up and today was a very heavy day. It was a very heavy morning and I had to do um perhaps a little bit more meditation and yoga than I'm used to just kind of get recentered. And a little bit of what we're doing today with Barbie and a little bit of what we're doing today or tomorrow with the gift horse directly relates to this because obviously I didn't realize what was going to be happening this week, last week, but we did know it was going to be more of the same, right? So it's important for us to address. We want to dream big. We need to be doing big things. We need to be making a difference. And we got to be taking care of ourselves. Like we really, really, really have to be protecting our peace and our well-being. So the concept of boring Barbie is especially at the new year when so many people are going after those big dreams, they're going after those big goals. Sometimes we can feel pressure to have to do the same. And I would hope that none of us ever feel pressure to go after a big goal. It is from a place of permission and a place of play and a place of possibility. Also, though, and this is part of, through the goals reimagined, when we're looking at like all of the different things to do our plans, you also want to look at what brings you day to day peace and joy and happiness. And a lot of times that can feel boring. It can feel small. It can feel unimportant. And so we don't prioritize it or we're embarrassed to say that's our goal. But we don't want to overlook that. So that takes us to challenge number one for today. And it's going to get you one entry. And that is what's something that's going well in your life right now? Like what is something that's going well? Like whether you worked for it or whether it's just random, like things just are going well. And you can identify as many as you want. But what is something going well in your life right now? Hi, Doris. Glad to have you. What's one thing that is going well in your life right now? Relationships. That's fabulous, Michelle. Fabulous work-life balance. I love it. That's great, Christy. Financially stable. Awesome. Awesome. Anyone else? What's going well right now? Marriage and friendships. Oh, yeah, Rachel. We both started dancing again, and it's going well in a good place of personal growth. Yeah, these are all great things. So normally when things are going well, we don't focus on them because we're like, it's going fine. Why would I focus on that? Right? At the new year, normally we're focusing on even more personal growth, even more professional growth. We're wanting those goals. But as I think we know, where your attention goes, your energy flows. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I find that I focus the least amount of attention on the things that are going well. This is actually very common in school systems. My sister's a kindergarten teacher, and they will say that oftentimes it's the children who have the most behavioral problems, um, that get the most attention. So if someone, if there's a child acting up in class, they get the attention, and then oftentimes, like, then it creates more chaos. And for the children who perhaps are behaving well, and this is not saying good or bad, right? Because kids can have issues beyond their control that has them showing up that way. But they will then start to act out because they want attention. And so it's really, really easy to just ignore or overlook the things that are going well, where things are going right. But sometimes when we stop paying attention to them, things start to get a little wonky. They start to backslide, and then we're like, shit. So, this is part of the boring Barbie concept. So, you've all identified at least one thing that is going well for you. So, now I want you to identify one thing that you could do to make sure this area of your life doesn't slip or backslide. What's one thing this year that maybe you could focus on or maybe you could do to ensure that this continues to stay healthy, that it continues to grow, that it's doing well? By the way, while you're typing, I had to put on a sleeveless shirt. I've been getting so hot in here doing these live streams. I was like, I've got to wear less clothes, even though it's January. And I get like Kimberly. Some people, y'all are in places where in January you've got nice weather. Um, Michelle, give it thoughtful attention. Nice. And you may not have wanted to share specifically in the chat, but as you're doing your exercise for tonight, I encourage you to go ahead and think through, because it's a little bit of a strategy thing. What would be thoughtful attention? Is it the amount of time you're spending? Is it, because we're all different with our relationships, is it having dinners? Is it giving gifts? Like, whatever it is for you, and kind of thinking about what a plan would look like. Okay. Christy, being more consistent with gratitude practice and acknowledging this. Okay. I like it. I like it. I would also encourage you, as you're doing your exercise for tonight related to this, is with your work life balance, either identifying one thing that will continue to ensure you have work life balance, um, or, and maybe this would even be from like yesterday, identify something that could mess it up, right? Like something that if you're not paying attention to, it could potentially mess up your work life balance. Sometimes, like, we get in such a habit of it, it's like, oh, nothing's going to interfere. But actually, I think, for all of us, things can absolutely interfere. So, kind of identifying where you can be diligent to maintain. Um, Rachel, put a bunch of classes on my Punch Pass and pre-register for classes. There you go. I love it. Yeah. I mean, You still have to go to the classes, but if you've already bought them and you've already pre-registered, it's more likely that you are going to show up. I love it. Doris, learn more about finances and investments. Yeah, so if you're doing well financially, learning how to really invest and to make sure that it stays secure. Kimberly, scheduling date nights and girls' nights, yeah, like you would anything else. I love it. Um, being intentional and calendaring time for regular mindfulness exercises. Yes, 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 yes. I mean, sometimes calendaring things absolutely works and sometimes it doesn't. And everyone knows themselves. I'm like Rachel, if it's like something that I'm paying to go do or like it's an actual like getting out of the house and being somewhere, I'll do it. If it is just on my to-do list for the day to do meditation or yoga, I don't always do it. I'm not really accountable with myself on certain things with the calendar. I have to do other things. But yes, for you all, you know yourselves if calendaring it works. Otherwise, you might actually have to put it as part of your plan or part of your priorities that you're really checking in on each and every day. I love it. Okay. So the Mojo Dojo Casa House. When you are thinking through your goals for the year, like I said, I already encouraged you to come up with some big goals, some dream goals, some stretch goals, not just the obvious goals. But sometimes there's a difference between something that's not aligned because it feels like a should and something that feels boring or simple or easy. And I think it's because of the Mojo Dojo Casa House. I think as high achieving women, we can feel the need to always be achieving and impressing, even if it's not other people. Like we've just been high achievers for so long that we think it's what we have to do. And when we have to do something, oftentimes it's because we are performing or we're trying to prove. And because the Mojo Dojo Casa House is really flexing its muscles, especially this year, sometimes I think it's important for us to be like, you know what? Perhaps one of the ways that I could like flip the bird to the patriarchy this year is to not only go after my dreams, not someone else's dreams, my wants, not someone else's shoulds, but also going after some of those, what I'm going to call boring Barbie goals, where maybe it's simple, maybe it's easy. What's wrong with that? Maybe it's safe. Maybe it's not sexy, right? Like it's not a sexy goal. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's okay. Sometimes I think when we're just focused on the other, we're exhausting ourselves, we are pushing ourselves, we are trying to prove, and it's like it's unnecessary. Like it's just not necessary. So, these are some of the things that I encourage you to think about as you are doing your exercises um, with the boring Barbie this afternoon or this evening. Maybe you've already done them. So, challenge number 3, and this may relate to what you've already identified. It might be with something else. It's just about brainstorming. What's one thing that seems small, but is actually big? So maybe it's for someone else, right? Someone else, like maybe it would be small, but for you, it's like, no, this is a big deal. Like, this is really, really important to me. And me making it a goal, me making it a priority, you know, maybe that is like giving it to the man as opposed to like overextending yourself. What's one thing that might seem small, but it's actually big for you? Late night snacking? Yeah, I will say for me, like dance, like just regularly dancing, like it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it has such a huge impact on my well-being and my happiness, and frankly, my ability to go chase my goals. I just feel more me. I have more energy, and I just love life more when I'm in that place. Not making time for crafts and dance. What else? What's something that might seem small to others, but it really has a big impact on your life? Regular workouts, daily walks, and the returning. I mean, I don't know if like you've been off of it for a while, Christy, but I know that like during the holidays, I get off on everything. And so it's nice, but also like getting back into the routine can be really important to at least set me up for success. I was actually Justin and I were both talking, like we were both eager. We were like, we are ready for the routine. Like we are ready to get back into our routine. Um, I know so many people are like, I need my kids to be back in school. Anyone else want to get their challenge number 3 in? You can keep doing it throughout, but this is something I really encourage you to do for today with Boring Barbie is to be like, you know what? It's okay to have really big goals, and it's also okay to prioritize things that might be going well, that might seem small, but are going to have a really big impact on my day to day life, especially as we're having to deal with whatever the fuck may come our way this year, because that is really, really important. Scheduling workout and movement time blocks. Nice. Okay. So, as I promised in the email, I'm going to share with you. By the way, I got it up. I'm super excited. I'm going to give you a little bit of tour. Um, so, some of you have done some of this with me before. I've been doing it. The very first one I did was like end of December 2014. I've done them within law firms. I've done them within companies. I've had them at the live events. But this truly is the first time I've ever had it in a digital course. And part of the delay was going back and forth on the pricing, but I decided that most people who, at least right now, would be doing it are people who've been in my community for a while. And so even though you get the 50% off, we still ended up deciding going with a much lower price point because even though they're not calling it a recession, like the economy, it's a whole thing right now. So for now, we are pricing it at $297, but with the 50% off, you can get it for $148.50. I love Will Ferrell. I'm going to give you a little bit of tour, but I also want to show you the other stuff first, real quick. But wait, there's more. I think this was going back to the 90s and the early 2000s. I actually love the old, like where it was just late night infomercials. I don't have that stuff as much anymore. I guess you could just do that on regular TV or I don't know, but live streaming is like you don't really see that stuff. But Growth Accelerator, for those of you who have service-based businesses or you're starting a service-based business, or you are in charge of like a book of business, like growing a book of business, this is what really has all of the modules for identifying the clients, the offers, your branding, your messaging, your marketing, your sales, and the customer journey, which I have been doing in a mastermind version for years in different forms, including the last 2 years. But I finally have it as well in a digital course, so it's a lot cheaper. And again, we're going to start it at $997. By the way, these will probably end up going to $497 and $1497, but we went with the cheaper one for now. So if you need that extra, it's only $498.50, which is actually a pretty wild deal for what I've been charging in the past. And if you bundle them together, you get a free business goals module. So if you need the business support, you can get all of that for $647. And now I actually want to take y'all on the quick little tour so that you can see the portal. Um, see what it looks like. Okay, let me share my different screen. Voila. Make sure that you're seeing it. Yeesh. Okay. So this is our cute little course portal. And if you just want goals reimagined, like I said, if you use that 50% off coupon, which is it is now officially in the portal, you can get that code. Um, this is what it looks like. So introduction, fresh start, reflect, envision, refine, strategize, plan. And then this is if you add on Growth Accelerator, you would also get the business goals. And within each portal or each one, so like if we click on strategize, you have the video and then you would download the worksheets. And they're not like the worksheets that you got for Best Year, Best You. They're extremely detailed. If you've ever gone through this, you know it's not just about brainstorming. I actually go through a process on helping you identify what to actually prioritize, how to actually determine your strategy, like really how to build it out, and then how to execute on it. So it is truly an end to end process. And then we will go back. And with Growth Accelerator, you'll see we've got your why, clients and offers, branding, messaging, marketing, sales, and your plan, which also kind of relates to the customer journey. I think I ended up changing that name on that. So you get all of that in the module if you buy them. Some of you may not need this, and some of you are like, yes, please, and I want it. And so if you go to the portal, you'll get the link, and it's literally going to be Goals Reimagined. And then there's a little bitty slider for the bump if you want to add on Growth Accelerator. Just know that that is for people with businesses. If you don't have a business, if you're not growing a business, if you're not starting a business, if you don't need a book of business, don't buy that. You don't need that. You just need Goals Reimagined. That's available through next Friday. But if you want to get started tonight, you can. If you want to get started this weekend, you can. But it is yours if you end up needing it. Okay, let me end all of my shares. All right. So that's it. That's it for your boring Barbie. Dream big, but also really focus on the things that are going to make a difference in your day-to-day life. If you have absolutely any questions about Goals Reimagined or Growth Accelerator, I don't have sales pages for those yet. Like I am just sharing them with you all right now with Best Year, Best You. So if you do have questions, like just let me know. And one of the ways you can do that is you can reply to any of the emails that you've been getting this week about Best Year, Best You. You can also ask them in our call tomorrow. You can ask them here. I can answer it on the replay. And tomorrow someone's going to win. But we're also going to talk about what you're going to give yourself for the year. So tomorrow's all about Gift Horse. You technically won't win entries tomorrow, but I'm still going to ask really good questions that's going to help set you up so that we're all taking care of ourselves this year, because that is just as important as us going after our big goals. Corey, glad to see you. Glad you're jumping in and catching up. I hope you all have a fabulous, fabulous day. I cannot wait to see who wins the grand prize. We'll announce tomorrow. Get all of your entries in by 11:59 p.m. Pacific tonight, and we'll find out who the winner is tomorrow. All right, y'all have a great day.